We are here at Town Hall in Orange City, Florida. We've been here before, as you've seen in some previous videos, and there will be some links for you because this is related to several other things that are going on. But we were here previously to speak to the city manager, Dale Arrington. We did this because she is the supervisor of Chief of Police, Wayne Miller. This is all in reference to an alleged rights violation of my Fourth Amendment rights, where there was no suspicion of a crime, no allegation of a crime, and my identification was demanded, and I was threatened that I will be detained if I do not provide my ID. Now, a lot's gone on since then. That was 9 months ago, but I haven't been able to get them to acknowledge that that even happened. The police chief, in his response to the complaint I eventually had to make, did not even mention the Fourth Amendment, which is the main basis of the complaint. After that, he flat out refuses to speak to me unless it's off camera. He will not speak on camera. He's made that very clear, and unfortunately, I have a very strict policy where I cannot communicate with government officials off camera. So we reached a stalemate. So I had to turn to the city manager here to file a complaint. Now, if you recall from the previous videos, when we came back to get an update on the complaint after she alleges to have investigated it thoroughly, it seemed like a joke to me, but she was certain that after reviewing the video several times, that police never said that they'll detain me if I don't ID. This sounded absurd to me because I was there and thousands of you saw it and heard it, so why didn't she?
Provide your identification right now, or we're going to step out of the car and detain you.
Right, yeah, okay. But my whole point is the Fourth Amendment, my specific things that in there that I said have never been addressed. Right, this is why Miller won't talk to me. I've asked him several times, hey, what is required to ID somebody in the state of Florida? He won't answer it. Nobody will answer it. That's why I sent that question to you in email and you didn't answer it.
I didn't really realize you were asking me what the law was, but I will get our attorney to provide you an answer as to what the law is.
I understand what the law is. I'm trying to make sure the police department does.
I think they do.
Because if they do, then that was a rights violation.
And as of this moment, I respectfully disagree with you.
But if they said...
I'm not
either
going
ID
to say,
or because if you say that and you know that's what's on video, you're going to make the department look bad. That's why you won't say it.
No, sir, that's not why I won't.
But you know that if they said, get out right, if you don't ID, we're going to pull you out of the car and detain you. You know that would be a rights violation.
As I said, I did not hear anyone say.
But if they said that,
if you don't give me your ID, I'm going to pull you out of the car and detain you. I do not recollect anyone saying that.
But if they said that, would that be a violation?
I don't know. It would depend on the context.
On that context.
I reviewed the video.
Because I think you know that's there.
I do not.
Either you didn't review the video or you're lying to me.
Provide your identification right now, or we're going to step out of the car and detain you.
Please. So in that initial conversation I had with her, she made it clear several times that she says the words were never spoken to me by police, that I will be detained if I don't identify. And she adds that she did review the body-worn camera footage several times. Immediately, it became clear to me that something there wasn't true, because it's not possible to have reviewed that several times, and each time miss the main thing you're supposed to be looking for within that video. That's not muffled, it's not hard to understand, it's very, very clear, as many of you saw and heard yourselves. So how could she miss it? I'm going to show you something even crazier in a minute. But it quickly became my opinion that she did not investigate this at all. That's the only thing that would make this make sense. I believe when I delivered my complaint to her for her to look into this, I believe she reached out to Chief Wayne Miller, probably provided him a copy of my complaint, and he responded to her about the complaint. And I believe that she just went with everything that he said and called it an investigation of her own. And a lot of things that she said too were kind of police speak, not words, not terminology that I would expect her to use. And then later when I spoke to her again, she mentioned that she knew that I had requested the documents that she used for her investigation, that I wanted to see what she used to investigate this complaint. She seemed a bit annoyed by that to me, and I believe because there was nothing to turn over to public record. And she said she'll be spending the next week getting those documents ready. What I think she meant by that was that she will create some documents and claim that she used them for that investigation.
I know you've put in a public records request, and I'll be working with Kaylee to fill that.
What the request for?
All of my documentation for reviewing your complaint against Chief Miller.
Now I've received these documents that she allegedly used to investigate the complaint. Within those documents are transcripts of the body-worn camera, where in plain English, the words are printed that they will detain me if I don't ID. So she allegedly had transcripts, and it's clear on video. How did she miss it? I'll share with you in a second why I wanted you to hear what's going on there. That noise is coming from her office. But I'm coming in today, we're here today to ask her about these transcripts. We were shocked that she would say that it doesn't exist. Those words weren't spoken when it's so clearly on video. But now allegedly she had transcripts in front of her? How did she miss it? And remember, the records that I requested that were provided to me were the documents that she used to do her investigation. And like I said, I suspected there were no documents, but any of those documents would be evidence. So what is it? Did she somehow miss what's clearly on video and printed in plain English in front of her? Did she create these documents, this evidence, after the fact to make it appear as though she investigated it? Well, I'm going to try to talk to her and find out. But I'm going to have to be very delicate and very, very nice, because I don't know if she's even going to speak to me. The last time we talked to her, she was no longer willing to talk to me. So I expect her to deny me today.
I think we know where this is headed.
I guess it is.
And I'm through.
I guess it
I'm
is.
not going to
So,
stand here and
okay.
be interviewed. So
I
for coming in.
I just told you I would
thank
stop
you
it then.
for the
So you're okay with
opportunity.
costing the taxpayers money? You
thank
just
you
said
for
instead
That's
of
it.
agreeing that it
Thank
happened, you would rather a civil suit for the taxpayers
I
of
did
Orange
not
City.
say that.
You just said that's where this is going, ma'am.
I'll fulfill my public records request.
Ma'am.
Thank you.
So you have no problem costing the taxpayers of city money, of Orange City money, just because you won't acknowledge it. Just say that shouldn't have
Thank
happened.
you.
That shouldn't have happened.
I am
There you
not
go.
getting in an argument.
Because no, it's not an argument. It's acknowledging reality. That's it. That's Dale Arrington, city manager, Orange City, Florida.
So we're here today with transcripts in hand to see if she can clear this up for us. Surely she didn't create evidence after the fact, but it doesn't make sense. Now we could hear that there's people in that office who are talking, so respectfully, I'm just waiting until they're through before I approach. I guess they didn't hear me come in. Now it does sound like it's kind of small talk. It's not like business. I could hear some laughing, some goofing and stuff, which is fine. I'm only pointing that out because I'm curious if I'm going to be told that she's too busy to talk to me. But I'm going to try really hard, so let's see where we get.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Hi.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good.
I just wanted to ask Miss Arrington a question. I wanted to thank her and ask her a quick question if she had a second.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me just double check.
Yep.
Ma'am. I'm so sorry. I never remember your name.
Matt.
Matt. Matt is here. If you have a moment, I know you're busy. There's a quick question for you. I'm sorry.
I know. It's hard to get anything done.
I know. I'm sorry. She's
Sorry.
not available at the moment. Do you want me to take it for you? Do you want me to give your email?
Well, I wanted to thank her. I got the documents as part of her investigation.
Okay.
And so I wanted to thank. Oh, hello. I just want to thank you. I did get the documents.
Good.
So I wanted to thank you. My only question, well, I'll just be really quick. There were transcripts for the body-worn camera. Were those created? So you used these? This was also part of you?
Yes, they were not done by a court reporter.
Okay.
They were done, by one of my secretaries.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I mean, that's not a big
Just so I
deal.
would have
Yeah.
something to go by instead of sitting there doing it.
Yeah. No, yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah,
And
so.
I got more than I even expected, so I do thank you for that. Yeah, I wasn't sure who did it. I figured it was an employee somewhere. My only question was right here in the middle. It said, I don't know, it's got the time walker. Right now, or we're going to step out of the car and detain you. It's up to you. I would just, that little part right there, this just confused me because when I was like, wow, there was transcripts too? Just because you had said that you'd reviewed the video a few times and you didn't hear that. But then I was like, is it in transcripts too?
I believe I created that after you told me so that I would know for sure.
Pause. Wait a minute. What? No way she just said that. I got to make sure we heard that right. Let's listen to it again real quick so we can try to decipher it.
I believe I created that after you told me so that I would know for sure.
Okay. I don't ever want to sway anybody's opinion. So definitely hit the comments and let me know what you think is going on there. And I'll share my opinion. I feel like she's thinking in her head, damn it. I thought he just wanted to say thank you. And she wasn't sure what to say. That's why we heard that. But make it make sense. So I think she is saying, that this document that was provided to me as a document that she initially used to investigate the claim was in fact created after the fact, but just so she could be sure that's what she was hearing. I truly don't know. And it's never my goal, and I can't make anyone look good or bad. And I don't want to make anyone look bad. I can just show people's own words and actions. But seriously, WTF. All right, let's get back to the rest of it.
I believe I created that after you told me so that I would know for sure.
Oh, is that what it was?
And yes, you were right. He said
Well, yeah.
He said detain, not arrest.
Yeah, and it was,
So,
that's what I allege, arrest. Detain. My whole contention with that was that by law, the threat of detention or the threat of arrest is a removal of your freedom, at least a temporary removal of your freedom, so they're equal. Yeah, if there's not legal basis, the cop says, hey, you do this or I'm going to detain you, or do this or I'm going to arrest you, they're equal. So that is considered a threat of arrest. A threat of detention is the same thing. So it's just commonly referred to as a threat of arrest, which is why in the video you hear me say, okay, as long as it's clear that it's under the threat of arrest, I want to make that clear. So that's why I use that terminology, but it's all the same thing. So, okay, I just wasn't sure if all these documents were created before your review or after your review. Because when I saw this, I was like, well, that's odd.
So I honestly, it's been a little while.
Yeah.
Well, again, let me know what you think in the comments, and this is just my opinion, but I feel like I'm looking at someone showing strong signs of discomfort and deception. And in fairness, it really hadn't been that long. And when someone's being genuine and honest and open, it's more fluid. It seems to come naturally. But she seems to be taking time to be careful with her words while choosing them carefully. And I'm glad she came out to talk to me, but I think at this point she's regretting it.
So I honestly, it's been a little while.
Yeah.
So I created or asked for a whole lot of documents on my initial review.
Yeah.
When you asked me to hear things again, I created more documents.
Oh, okay.
So I would need to sit down with my whole file and divide it up. I'm probably be able to remember what I did when, but
I know how that is. I got files everywhere.
I just turned it over the same day you asked for it. I believe I gave everything I had to the clerk.
Yeah,
and really haven't looked at it since then.
Yeah, and I do appreciate that. I got more, like I say, more even than I expected, so I do appreciate that.
From here, she just goes on a bit to talk about the body-worn camera footage that she says she reviewed, and that there was an error in sending some of it to me, like I didn't get it. But again, if you followed this whole story, or if you're new and you're going to catch up with this whole story, remember how ridiculous all of this is, how it started, and everything that spawned from it. Here we are starting to push a year later, all because my identification was in fact demanded of me without the presence of the legal basis to be able to demand ID. It's plain simple, it's on video. I foolishly thought that months ago I'd be able to correct it just with a conversation with someone, but getting anyone to acknowledge that those words were even spoken to me is like pulling teeth. I will add too that it's a bit suspicious to me that in some of these documents that were provided to me as allegedly part of her investigation into this complaint, the chief informed her about some other complaints on the same officer, unrelated to this one, even made by other people. And again, I've said this before, and this is an allegation. I did not hear this myself, but sources have said that the chief, Wayne Miller, has openly said before, possibly in a chief's meeting among various other police chiefs, something along the lines of that he will not take seriously or he will not entertain any complaints that come from people with cameras. So journalists or accountability seekers, he says, apparently. So by lumping in actions and complaints and investigations by other citizens, as we're seeing so much of, it's almost as if it's done to discredit me and the things that I say. And I've shown several examples of this chief doing that, where he's basically saying, look, these guys are friends, they're ganging up on this guy for some reason because they don't like him. And in reality, like I told you before, myself and that other citizen met because of these incidents. We didn't even know each other, but that doesn't matter to them. And let's say that even was true, right? Let's say some people work together and point out wrongdoing by a certain cop or any government officials. Wouldn't you thank those people instead of blame them? Hey, thanks for bringing this to our attention. We definitely need to know about this stuff so we can handle it. But alas, that would only be if things were as they are meant to be, where public servants serve the public and listen to the public, regardless if they have a camera or not. And I strongly suggest everybody have a camera. But the complaints that I've submitted, which I don't take lightly, and for everyone that's been here for a while, you've seen that I try to handle things without having to make a complaint, and I don't do it often. But the ones that I have made here are all related, and they all stem back to the original one. If other people are making complaints around the same time on the same person, logic says you should probably take a closer look at the person being complained on rather than the people who are making the complaints. Because maybe, just maybe, we are trying to better the community, we're trying to better the agency, trying to look out for public safety, and just seeking what's right. Check out links I put for the previous 2 encounters with Miss Arrington, as well as the playlist that will lump all of these related videos together. Make sure you check out other videos too, because this isn't the only thing going on. And stay tuned for what comes next. For something, yeah, and I appreciate that. Yeah, okay. Well, I thank you for taking a minute. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
Have a good day.
I'm back to budget.
All right, take care.